Governor Hickenlooper inside a box, thinking outside the box to convince Amazon to come to Colorado. Another Denver Public Schools principal is under scrutiny. An energy company avoids a fracking debacle at a public meeting by redefining the word public. A fitness goal that gets harder as a Coloradan gets older. And Broncos fans are angry. Mike Kliss will tell us if the front office actually cares, along with my thoughts on the tasteful way to call for someone to lose their job. Next. If Amazon chooses to hook up with Colorado, it will be because of our personality, not because Amazon is lusting over our body of tax incentives. Governor Hickenlooper laid that bare today, and honestly, they're pretty puny. Exact numbers are covered by confidentiality agreements. But joining our Jeremy Hohola for another edition of Let's Be Clear, the governor offered numbers that we had not heard about that Amazon deal.
Do you honestly think enticing Amazon into moving a headquarters to Colorado is a good thing?
Yes, I think it is a very good thing. We wouldn't be involved. We obviously gave them our offers a fraction of what other states, probably less than 1/20th of what some states were offering. But I do think, we haven't built the transportation infrastructure that we need even now. We'll see. I mean, it's a pretty long shot.
We're a long shot, so I mean, what do you think our chances are here?
Oh, I don't know, 1 in 10?
1 in 10?
Something like that.
In all honesty, a 1 in 10 chance would have to make Colorado one of the front runners. When you consider it, though, Amazon revealed today it got proposals from 238 different cities and regions across North America. Only 7 states were not interested: the Dakotas, Wyoming, Montana, Hawaii, Vermont, and Arkansas. Walmart. In Canada, New Brunswick, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon Territory said no thanks, while down in Mexico, only 3 states applied: Chihuahua, Hidalgo, and Querétaro. So viewers of this fine program learned last week that Colorado's combined 8-site Amazon bid is so secret that not even the leaders of those cities know if they made the cut, as we all wait to learn next year where Amazon is going to bring its estimated 50,000 jobs. Jeremy Hohola took your live questions for the governor for Let's Be Clear today. They covered a whole lot of ground, topics of your choosing, and you can watch the entire thing on the next Facebook page. Gotta love those generic statements that go home to parents warning nebulously about a situation at their child's school. What parents want and need is information. Like the parents at South High School in Denver who were told that the principal and a student advisor were placed on leave because of quote-unquote concerns. Our 911 SNO team knew that wouldn't cut it. So here's what we know now. There's been an allegation of sexual assault at South High School. A female student who says that she was groped by 2 male students September 14th. This was reported to police 13 days later. And one question in this investigation is whether South High School leaders responded appropriately, considering their duty under the law to report suspected abuse. So that's what concerns meant, parents. This case is going to be closely watched, considering the Denver District Attorney's recent decision not to charge East High School leaders with a crime for failing to report their knowledge of videos that showed cheerleaders screaming as they were forced into splits. That case ended with the East High School principal retiring, the athletic director resigning, and 5 other assistant principals being disciplined. Aurora did not have a place to put all of the emotions and all of the mementos that piled up after the theater shooting 5 years ago. Both are still being sorted out to this day. All of the items taken to the memorial that sprung up across the street from the theater have been preserved for history. History as in a museum, the Aurora History Museum, where one person is making sure it will someday tell part of the story. Here's 9 News reporter Anastasia Bolton.
Lots of artificial flowers and candles and stuffed animals, a lot of stuffed animals. I am the keeper of the stuff.
That sums up Jennifer Cronk's existence.
I just like
Thing is,
things that tell a story.
She's not the keeper of just any stuff.
It's from right at the corner of Center Point and Sable, across from the theater. A memorial for the Aurora theater shooting. The objects were left following the shooting on July 20th.
It's Jennifer's job as the curator of collections at the Aurora History Museum
Pretty dusty.
to make sure these objects are preserved, even if there are no plans for an exhibit anytime soon.
I've touched every single object that was left, at this site.
It is difficult and emotional to do this. going on 5 years.
It's tough. Even if you do separate yourself from it and you don't read everything that people left or wrote.
People left pieces of their hearts, special mementos, thoughts, and hopes.
There's a reason for everything that was left.
It's important to save it all.
You have to think about what if this was your loved one, and so you just do the best job that you can.
Because it's not just stuff. Not to Jennifer, not to the community, not to the victims' families.
The fact that we are, safeguarding these objects for the future is hopefully, meaningful to them, that they know that they're here and they're protected.
For next, I'm Anastasia Bolton.
After 5 years of sorting, Jennifer thinks that she is about 2 years away from being done. Perhaps then, if the community is ready, some of those items will go on display in an exhibit. There was a similar process that took place after the Columbine shooting. The Littleton Museum collected several hundred of the thousands of items left at Clement Park. It took them almost 8 years to catalog all of it. Broncos fans have had a lot to say today after the team's embarrassing 2-game slide. A lot of talking, but who's listening? We asked our Broncos guy, Mike Kliss, one question. Does anger from Broncos fans ever influence the organization's decisions about who starts?
No, fans do not make decisions on quarterbacks. The Broncos do listen to their fan base. I know the fans had a lot to do with Josh McDaniels getting fired a couple of years ago. Joe Ellis and Pat Bowlen were not going to allow that to continue, as they knew that their fans were upset with the direction of the team was going. I think they listen when there's some troubled players out there. They didn't want to sign Johnny Manziel because of concerns about the fan base. Those are some examples. But as far as game decisions, roster decisions, who to play, who not to play, no. Vance Joseph, look, he knows that the most popular player in any town is the backup quarterback. And Trevor Siemian, he believes, is his quarterback right now. The fans may not agree, but Vance Joseph knows his team better than anybody. I remember a bunch of years ago, my father-in-law insisted that the Broncos should play Gary Kubiak ahead of John Elway. I mean, how ridiculous was that? However many years ago, I guess it was 30 years ago. So no, they don't listen to the fans when it comes to that. They appreciate their cheers, but when it comes to who plays, who doesn't, game planning, no, the fans have no say.
Mike Kliss calling out his father-in-law. Wow. All right. There are calls for Broncos quarterback Trevor Siemian to lose his job over these losses. If you would allow me a quick word on this, as somebody who does not know a whole lot about football, but does know what it's like to have people clamoring for your firing every day, there is a perfectly acceptable, even classy way to demand that some dude get tossed out of his job for not being very good at it. A way to say it so that even he goes, well, I got a point. In this case, it would go like this. Trevor Siemian's problem is not his attitude. It is not his effort. Light a guy up if he's lacking those. Call him names if that's what you need to feel secure about yourself. But let's spare the insults for someone who is giving the Broncos organization everything he's got, and the only question is whether the best he's got is the best we can get. One of two things is going to happen here. Trevor Siemian's going to keep his job, or he's going to lose it. I would like him to look back on Broncos fans in either case and say that he was treated with the same respect that he's shown all of us.
Energy companies in Colorado have to hold a public meeting before fracking, which led to an interesting definition of public. The definition of tenacity belongs to a guy named Leonard, who's been devoted to bench pressing his weight. At the risk of stating the obvious, that does not get easier with time.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine as frog hair.
on this Monday. It was a little cold this morning, wasn't it? And windy when the front came in around 6:30. Back over to mostly clear skies now and a warmer day coming up tomorrow. Best news is the wind has really died down tonight. Our high, a little deceiving, 63. We hit that around 1 o'clock in the morning. We've been in the low to mid 50s for most of the day. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. We've got this latest storm tracking south and east away from the area. It's moving fast. High pressure setting up. We have clear skies now with light winds. That means good radiational cooling, and we are going to see some really cold lows tonight, especially in some of those high mountain valleys. Teens for areas like Gunnison and Leadville, and in Denver, lows right around the freezing mark. So that's where we start tomorrow morning. Quick jump, though, and we're back in the low 60s, but it'll be in the afternoon, so it's going to feel so much better than today. We have a nice warming trend close to 80 on Wednesday ahead of a storm that'll bring mountain snow and a bit of rain and snow here, maybe an inch melting on the pavement because the warm readings, you know, the surface temperatures are not going to allow that snow to stick around, but the cold will stick around. Friday's high in the 40s, lows in the 20s, and they're grateful for that at some of the ski resorts that are fast and furious making snow, and they'll continue to do that right through December, Kyle.
Kathy, thanks. Oil and gas and Boulder just don't mix. Long-term fracking project is in the early stages in Boulder County, so there's going to be a public meeting to alert, you know, the public, except only a tiny percentage of the public was invited. Here's Marshall Zellinger.
I mean, if it's a public meeting, I don't understand why the public can't attend.
This is cell phone video of one state lawmaker being recorded by another. State Senator Matt Jones is behind the camera. State Representative Mike Foote is the star. They're outside what was thought to be a public meeting last week between Boulder County residents and oil and gas company Crestone Peak Resources.
If Crestone Resources can't even hold a public meeting, how do we trust them with explosive materials?
Crestone Peak Resources is talking to residents about tentative plans to drill in any of the yellow shaded areas in eastern Boulder County. The circles represent a half-mile radius from each site where homeowners received invitations to go to the quote-unquote public meeting, though the entire 12-square-mile area could be impacted.
We are right here on Niwot Road. This is county line.
Nanner Fisher did not get in. She lives outside the yellow areas where Crestone has determined it may put a well.
My definition of public meeting is public. That would mean everybody. It's not private. It's not invite only. It's public. Anybody in the state, anybody from anywhere in a public meeting should be allowed to attend.
We recognize that there were the expectations of some in the public that the meeting was broader than that, and we certainly take responsibility for that as far as calling it a quote-unquote public meeting. It was a public meeting for the affected public.
The Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, which oversees oil and gas drilling in the state, admitted to poor wording, but said this meeting was intended for those direct homeowners to get information.
Not only are we neighboring landowners, we're actually the landowners under 4 of their sites, and they neglected to invite us the first time around.
Boulder County sent a letter with concerns prior to the meeting, among them not getting an invite to a public meeting over land they're responsible for.
Having these public meetings at this point in the process is new. Usually it's happened later in the process as we have more of the details.
Jason Oates from Crestone has already scheduled a telephone town hall for early November for homeowners in this entire map. Now, Crestone tells me what State Senator Matt Jones's video did not show was protests up the road, and that, Kyle, is what they were concerned with a lot of people showing up that aren't involved in Boulder County that are going to overtake a meeting and not let the residents have their say.
Yeah, maybe there is a happy medium between letting in a bunch of outsiders protest and doing it Willy Wonka style with golden tickets for like 7 people, you know? Just a thought. All right, Marshall, thank you. There's progress being made on a very Colorado-like project. We told you about hempcrete last month, that concrete-like mixture, hemp and lime and water. And no, you can't smoke it. Please be mature. You can build with it, and they are now. Crews have been working on a workshop in the backyard of a house in northeast Denver. It's thought to be the first hempcrete structure in the city of Denver. This is not small. Look at that thing. It's 16 feet by 20 feet. I envy this person's workshop. That's fantastic. Hempcrete's almost up to the roof of the place. It's fireproof, mold-proof, non-toxic, and a great conversation starter.
You can say age is just a number, but this guy, he's really owning his number.
Well, I'm going to try to do this. I mean, I'm really going to try.
And the most Colorado thing we saw today could use your caption. Send it to us before we return. Caption this, #HeyNext.
If you ever need a little motivation to get something done, think of Leonard Overholt. After 9 decades of setting and reaching goals, he has never used age as an excuse, especially not today. Here's his story from our Noel Brennan and photojournalist Eric Kay.
We're always cool.
Yes, we're always cool.
Growing stronger with age.
That's it?
That's it.
Holds true when we're still young. But Leonard Overholt is pushing 90
Two more.
with 85 on the bar.
Push. Good, good, good. Hey.
If he's feeling his age,
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Leonard will be the very last to admit it.
I'm fine as frog hair.
2 years ago, Leonard set a goal.
I'm just kind of going along for the ride.
Trainer Susie Nelson is here to make sure he meets it.
Perfect. Looky there. Like a spring chicken.
Yeah. Hell, I'm 20 years old.
Leonard needs the confidence.
Yes, I was very strong. Really, I was strong.
Of that kid in black and white pictures to pull this off.
I benched 90 pounds on his 90th birthday, and we've been working on this for about 2 years.
Well, I'm going to try to do this. I mean, I'm really going to try.
Age is but a number. Today, on Leonard's 90th, he's here to prove it.
Here we go.
Here we go. Lock him out, lock him out.
Okay.
And you go. One.
Whoa.
3 reps and feeling fine as frog hair.
I just turned 73, and if I could make it to 90, I would like to be like him.
He's got about 10, 12 years on me, but I'm not going to cross him.
Leonard set the bar this high.
Ooh.
Why not push a little higher?
We're going to go for 100. And down. You got this one. And up. Come on, 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 come on.
This 90-year-old may just get stronger by the minute.
You did it!
You did it, girl, not me.
We can't wait to see what he'll be pushing come 100.
Happy birthday to you.
For next,
You're not new to this, Leonard.
with photojournalist Eric Kay, I'm Noel Brennan.
I'm glad there wasn't 90 on there.
You did it.
Making 90 look good. When Leonard started 2 years ago, he could only bench 65 pounds. Worked his way up to 90 for today. Doing that 100 is just icing on the cake. And, you know, good preparation for his birthday a decade from today. The most Colorado thing we saw today is, you know, just 2 horses pulled up to a Sonic drive-thru in Roxborough. Debbie Ensler Hall says she saw them, along with a human, right up to a stall over the weekend. Although when the human's not there, it actually looks like an even better picture. She thought it might be called Just Here for the Hay Slushies, or as Brian Ibbett captioned it during the commercial break, what do you mean? No, I have an oat-flavored milkshake. It is a sign that a Halloween diet may or may not be a wise choice for all of us. And one of you blew my mind with feedback about a word I used tonight. That's next. It's a sign spotted by next viewer Ken Shaver at the King Supers in Ken Carl. Single light meals right in front of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups out for Halloween. Finally, after all of these years, my dietary choices are gaining traction with the general population. Ken thinks that they were looking for a place to put the excess candy. I tend to think it is a sign of acceptance after all these years. Steve Furchess from Frederick wrote in tonight and changed my world. He said, did you possibly confuse the word memento for memento? My dictionary does not have a memento as a word. You're usually so precise. 34 years on this earth, Steve. I thought it was memento all the time. I did not understand it was memento. Mind blown. See you next time.